everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I am so happy to have you here today. Before we get started, be sure to sign up for my free monthly newsletter over at CorinneBlackstone.com. I share lots of fun stuff in that newsletter that you don't want to miss out on. Now today's video, we are going to do something super trendy and fun. I'm going to show you how to make the wavy text feature. It is so easy, so fun. And then we're going to make this really fun shirt using some Caesar electric. I love the shine on this. It's a great product and I can't wait to show you how easy it is to do. We're going to design this from start to finish. Now I am going to use Inkscape for this, but I'm going to walk you through every step. But you can also do this in Design Space and I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's get started.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
You're going to need a groovy style font to do this design with the wavy texture. You can really do it with any font, but the typical font you see is kind of a retro one. So I like this Retro Groovy from Creative Fabrica. I'll link it down below. I've already downloaded it. I've shown you in a couple videos how to install, but I will link below an install for all users video that will walk you through how to install a font. For this design, I find it the easiest to use Inkscape, but you could technically do this in Design Space. You could also do this in Canva. You could do this in Silhouette. Wherever you want to design, this is totally fine. But I do find it a lot easier because you can skip a step if you do it in Inkscape. And Inkscape's actually pretty easy and I'll walk you through every step. So all you have to do is follow along and I promise this will be really easy and I will go slow for you. So the first thing that we want to do is to enter our text. To enter text over on the left-hand side, and before I forget to mention it, download Inkscape 0.92. That's the version I use. It is the least buggy of all the versions, and it will look exactly the same as what I have here on my screen when you use it. So the first thing you're going to do is over on this left-hand side, find the big A. It's about halfway down. That is your text controls. Open that, and you're going to see that you get a little A and a little crosshair. I like to just click it into the box that's on my screen, and I'm going to zoom in on this just a little bit so that you can see the design. Now, my friend has sent me a picture of something she saw when she was at Disney that she desperately wanted and couldn't find anywhere, so she asked me, hey, can you help me make this? So I said, I can make it similar. I don't know if I can make it exact, but I can make it similar, and she's fine with that. So what we want to do is I'm going to enter the text that she wants, and you're going to see that I have like weird text. We'll change that in just a second because it's just like the default text that's selected. So I'm just entering a couple different lines because I need all of these different statements to be on different lines. So you want to make sure that whatever design you're doing, you kind of have your lines figured out about like where you want them. So if you want to do all the word mama, or you want to do this type of style where it's got a couple of different words, just know that you kind of need to break them down so that they're about similar length in your design. So this is the design that she wants for the wavy text. We're only going to do the wavy text in here, but like I said, I'll show you the other step you have to do if you do something in Design Space. So now what I want to do is I'm going to highlight all of my text and I'm going to go up to the very, very top. Right here, there's a little drop-down menu, and this is where I'm going to select my text from. I'm going to click that drop-down menu, and it does take it a second to load all my fonts because I have a lot of fonts, and I'm going to find the Retro Groovy font. Now that I've found Retro Groovy, I just want to use the regular Retro Groovy. There's a couple of versions of the font that you can use, but for this one, I'm just going to use the regular, so go ahead and select that. Now, while your text is all highlighted, go up to the word path, which is the very top of the screen in the center, and click on that. The next thing you're going to do is click Object to Path. From here, you want to go over to the word Object, which is right next to Path. Click on that, and you're going to choose Ungroup. This is going to ungroup your words and your letters, so each letter is individually able to be moved. From here, you want to select your selection tool, which is the top arrow in the upper left-hand corner. Now, I only want to select one line at a time for this. So what I want to do is I'm going to select the me crying, and I'm just going to select all of those letters. And what you want to do is make sure that that box goes fully around all of the letters. And I'm going to put it up here with the if you see, and I want to just space it out a little bit so that it has some space between the E and the Y. We'll resize everything in just a second, but I like to move all of my lines. So again, I drew a box around it. I'm going to put my lines together, and again, we'll resize them in just a second, and I'll show you the trick to that as well. And then I'm just going to get my word firework up here. Now we're good. Now from here, I need to kind of figure out about how wide I want to put each word or each line. It doesn't really matter because we will resize them in Cricut Design Space, but I'm going to grab one set of the lines. So I'm going to grab if you see by just drawing that square. Up here at the very top, very similar to Design Space, they have a width, a lock, a height, and then millimeters. Change your millimeters to inches unless you really want to do millimeters. It's up to you. And the next thing I'm going to do is click the lock button to close it. That's going to keep everything in scale, so it's not going to stretch my words. So I'm just going to make my words 5 inches wide, and that's just to help me see what I'm doing. Again, we will resize this in just a minute. But you want to have all of your lines of text be the exact same width. I'm going to change that to 5 over on width. And we'll need to move some things. So as you see it kind of getting stuck, you can kind of move them around. It depends on sometimes the size that I make them, how much I need to move them. But sometimes I just kind of move them around and I just go with it and deal with it in a minute. So I'm just making them all 5 inches wide. Now from here, you want to grab each line, so do the same thing, and you just kind of want to get them spaced again where you want them. You could really have waited to space them out. It just depends on kind of how you want to do it, but I like to space them first to make sure I like the way it looks, and then I kind of respace them. It's just a me thing, but you can definitely skip that first step. It's up to you. So now that I'm pretty happy kind of with where they are, I like to look at them kind of together. The next thing that I need to do is to make sure each line is its own separate section. So I'm going to grab my square and I'm just going to draw the square around so it touches all of the letters. And then I'm going to go to Path and I'm going to choose Union. That's going to make each line its own separate piece. So I'm going to do that for each of the lines in our design. So I'm going to go to Path Union. We're going to select the whole line, go to Path Union. You can also use one of the shortcuts that I never use. I think, let's see what it says it is. Union is Control plus. I don't like to do that. That's just a me thing. So now that we're pretty happy with this, we can move each line individually a lot easier now. And you could definitely do the union prior to moving your lines and resizing them. But I like to do it after. I just find it gives me a little bit more help in case I mess something up. Now from here, I'm going to select all of my design, and you'll notice that it's not lined up. I want everything to be aligned correctly. So what you'll do is you're going to go to Object, and at the very bottom, you're going to see an Align and Distribute option. Click on that, and you're going to have all these different align options. If you kind of hover over it, it'll tell you what it's going to do. So this is center them on the vertical axis, which is what I want it to do. I think that looks pretty good, and then we can also kind of use these to distribute them evenly if we want to. It's kind of up to you. I don't always love the way it spaces these out because now it's got a lot of space between these two, and then it has a lot of space between the word fireworks. So it's really up to you and how you want to do it. But I'm going to go ahead and realign them again since I moved them. Make sure everything is centered. That looks pretty good to me. I think we're good to move on to our next step. Now from here, we need to export this as a PNG because we need the transparent background. What you're going to do is you're going to go to File, and down here you'll see Export PNG Image. Click on that, and you want to click Export As, which is kind of in the middle of this little extra bar that brought up. Now from here, you can decide where you want to save it. So I'm going to save it into my Cricut folder. Now I did do this to test it, so you're going to see that I do already have a fireworks design. Now I'm going to click Save. There's one more step because you need to click Export. If you don't click Export, you're not going to have the image that you need. Now I'm going to put this into Design Space really quick just to show you what you would have to do if you designed this in Design Space. Let's say I had designed this in Design Space. I'm going to go ahead and just upload my image. I'm going to click Browse. I'm just going to find it really quick and just kind of really fast add this in because we're not really doing anything with this part. I'm just showing you what you would have to do if you did design this in Cricut Design Space. So let's say that we decided we were going to make this in Design Space. We actually need to make sure that we remove the background from our image, and you're probably wondering, well, how the heck do I do that? You want to make sure that you don't have this line around it, so you want to click anywhere on the screen so that you don't have that. You're going to need your snipping tool, or you can use print screen, but I like to use my snipping tool. And what you want to do is click New. You're going to draw a box around the entire design and select it. Then click the little save icon and you can save it again kind of wherever you want to save it. So I'm going to save it as Firework 2 just so that you can see the extra step we have to take if we used Design Space, because taking the extra step just is a lot. Now, if you did the Design Space version, you have to remove the background. So what you want to do is go to remove.bg and click Upload Image. You're going to find the design that you saved, which for us is Firework 2, and it's going to remove the background for you. Now, one reason I don't love this is because sometimes it does mess with the font a little bit, but it's fine. Go ahead and click download, and then you're going to save the image for your next step. So just go ahead and save it wherever you wanted to. Now, the next step we're going to do is we're going to search for Wave Effect Font Meme. I will link this directly down below, it just makes it easier. Now, I'm personally going to use the one that I downloaded from Inkscape for this. What I want to do is click Upload Image and choose the image that I want to use. So like I said, for this, I'm going to use the Inkscape one, which was Fireworks 1. And you can choose a couple of different wave options, and I'll go over those with you just to show you what they look like. But click Generate, and look at that. You've got your wavy effect. Now there's a couple of options that you can see and choose from. So they've got a couple different ones, and you can also play with the design as well and see if like you want to kind of custom make it a little bit more. You can change the wave degree, you can change the wave amount, and then click Generate. And I mean, obviously that was a lot. I haven't played with this a whole lot. So you can just sort of play with it and see if you get something that you like better. Obviously that is not it. That's not what we want, but we're going to use the preset one because I think this is like the look she's going for. So from here, you'll see that you've got this right here. Do not click on that. That is an ad. We don't want to click on that. All you need to do is right click on this image and click Save Image As. I'm going to save it as Firework. If I could spell, I'm going to save it as Firework 2 Wave. That way I know that that's the wavy image of what we're working with. Now we can head over to Design Space and upload our PNG. So over in Design Space, I'm going to delete this because we don't need it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click Upload, and then I'm going to click Upload Image and click Browse. So again, from here, I want to take my Firework 2 Wave and upload that into Design Space. Now, because we used a PNG with a transparent background, we don't have to do anything except choose Complex, click Continue, and you'll see that your background's already removed. So don't click on anything, just click Apply and Continue. From here, you want to save it as a cut image and click Upload. Then all I want to do is select that image and add it to my canvas. Now, like I said, it's a lot less steps if you use Inkscape because you don't have to do the remove background portion. You kind of just play with it, you know, and do it the way you want to do it. But honestly, I feel like Inkscape's a lot easier. Now, I'm going to size this down quite a bit right now just so we can add the extra elements that we want to put on this because there are some other things that she wanted added to it. So we're going to do that. So what she wanted some text that said, "No, you did not." Now, she said for this, she wanted something kind of swirly girly, but something that really didn't stand out a ton. So I'm going to go under my fonts and select my system fonts because those are just way better than Cricut fonts. And I'm kind of going to scroll through and see if I find anything that I really like. Now, like I said, I did pre-design this because I wanted to play with it and make sure that I knew kind of what I wanted it to look like, you know, and all that before I walked you through because I wanted to be able to walk you through without me like stumbling around. So I already kind of picked out what font I want, but I kind of just scrolled through, picked out a couple that I thought would be cute, and then played around with them a bit to find which one I liked the best. Now, she said do whatever I wanted, whatever I thought looked good, so I definitely just played around with it and found a couple. This one I thought was really cute, but I think it's a little thin, but I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to cut 2 of them. So I'm going to duplicate this because I want to cut this one out to see if I like it and if it really cuts well. But if it doesn't, I did find another one that I thought would be acceptable. It was a little bit of a thicker font, but it was still pretty. It didn't have like really tall D's, which was something I was trying to avoid. This was the other font that I liked. However, I don't like it with the little holes in it. So I'm going to show you how to fix that if you have a font like this that you'd rather have filled in, but it's real simple. So the first thing that I need to do is go under Combine and choose Weld. That's going to allow me to actually contour the font out to remove all these little holes. So if I go to Contour, what I want to do is I'm going to click on each of the little spaces that is in the text. That way it's going to kind of get rid of those little holes. Do you see down here where it's kind of eliminating those? It's not only making the font a little thicker, but it's also just making it look a little bit more in the style that we are wanting. So you just want to go through and click all the little spaces that are in the font. Now you can look down here, make sure you got them all, and then close the contour option. So like I said, this is an option, or the thin one is an option as well. I don't know which one I want to do yet. I'm just going to cut them both and sort of see what happens. Now with this, we want to resize everything, but I want to add another element to it before I really kind of resize. But let's go ahead and resize the 2 fonts. That way we can get a better idea of what, will fit. So I see that this is 7.849 inches wide. I'm just going to make it 8 inches wide just to make life easier. And I'm going to do the same thing for the fonts. I'm going to make both fonts 8 inches wide. That way everything's just ready to size, nothing too big. And I do want them to be as wide as these words. I just think it will look better. It works with the design. Now from here, I am going to use some images from Cricut Design Space. But you could find images anywhere, but I want to use some firework images. And I know which one I want, but I just searched firework. And I kind of just scrolled through, found a few that I liked, and then tested them out to see what worked and what I thought would cut nicely with this design. Now I'm doing everything in one color because that's what she wanted, and that's totally fine. I think it's going to look really cute. But I found this little star firework and I thought was perfect for this design. So all I'm going to do is add it to my canvas, and you'll see that it's going to pop up, and it's like a bunch of colors. I just want it to be black, so I'm just going to go ahead and select black. Because again, I'm cutting this all on the same color. Now from here, I can kind of lay it out wherever I want it to go. And I know I wanted one here because I liked the idea of it kind of going into the words. But I also thought about potentially putting one down here as well. So what I'm going to do is right click on it and click duplicate. That's going to give me a second version of my firework. Now I want it to face the other way, so I'm going to go ahead and flip it horizontally and then not do that. I hate that. I hate the new thing that it does with the bounding boxes. Sometimes you'll grab them and it changes what you're trying to do. Now this isn't exactly kind of what I want it to look like. I want it to arc a different way. So I'm going to just kind of pull this and turn it a little bit more and put it right about there. And I think that looks good. So now I have the 2 font options. So I have the thicker one and the thinner. Now I do need to make them both black so that they will cut on the same material. So I'm going to just kind of move them around a little bit and just see. I really think I like the chunkier one better. So I think I'm not even going to cut the thin one. Now that I really see it, I just want to do the thinner one or the thicker one. So I think that looks pretty good. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my words, so my "if you see me crying" and the "no you did not" are lined up correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Align, and I'm going to center them horizontally. I think that looks pretty good. If I need to move the fireworks around, I will, but I don't think that I do. I think that looks pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and select everything, and I'm going to attach. That's going to tell Design Space not to move any of my design around. It's going to hold it all in place when I go to cut this out for my shirt. Now I'm going to put this on a size large shirt for her, and you can put this on the front or the back. It's really up to you and how you want to do it. It's really truly your design. Do what you want. For hers, she said that she wanted it on the front, but like I said, you absolutely could put this on the back as well and then do like a little pocket logo, whatever you want to do. But since I'm making this for her, I will do what she wanted. And like I said, it's going on an adult large. So I do want to make it about 9.5 wide, which is going to make it almost 11 tall, but this is a pretty big design, and so I'm fine with it. She wanted it nice and big. She wanted it really like to stand out on the shirt. Now I do still have to check with her exactly what color she wants this cut in and which color shirt she wanted, so we will reveal that in just a moment when we go to actually get everything cut out. Now, before we hit make it, if you watch me, you know that I do not trust Cricut to mirror my designs. So I'm going to use the flip option where I'm going to flip it and I'm going to flip it horizontal. What that does is it pre-mirrors it in this screen so that when I go to click make it, I don't have to remember to mirror it and I don't have to try to remember to do any of the other things to it. It's just easier this way for me. So I'm going to go ahead and click make it from here so that you can see what it looks like. But you can see here, and let me actually change the color because I know a lot of you say it's hard to see if I leave it black. So let me change the color so you can see it better. I'm just going to use light blue. I'm going to click make it. And now what you'll see is the design is the correct direction on our shirt. So it's going to be backwards on our HTV, which is exactly what we want. Now I am going to give you another quick tip that I kind of have been doing a lot lately because I find that this little sliver of HTV, especially if I'm using a large roll, isn't really helpful to me. I don't like doing that. So if you have a design that's definitely longer than it is wide, quick little trick to save you a little bit of HTV, turn your design sideways. Once you've turned your design sideways, if you're using a roll, you're only going to have a little sliver over here that isn't being used, but now you have that full section here that's attached to the rest of your roll. I'm probably just going to cut this on a sheet because I think that's what we're going to use, but I'll probably turn it sideways because a lot of my HTV sheets are like 12 by 15 or 12 by 20. So definitely something to keep in mind when you are doing this. It's just a quick little trick to save yourself HTV. Now let's go ahead over to the machine. Let's figure out what color we're using and what color shirt. As promised, I'm going to show you the colors that she picked. She picked this really pretty, I believe this one is Peacock in electric, and then a kind of like medium purple. And this is a Gildan soft style heather shirt. So I think the color is going to be really pretty. This has like a really pretty sheen to it. So we're going to use the colors that she chose, and I think they're going to be awesome together. This cuts on the everyday iron-on setting, so it's really easy to use, and it's super easy to tell which side is which. So you always want to use the theory on HTV with carrier sheet side down. Now, I wasn't sure I could peel a corner, but with this one, it's very easy to tell because this side doesn't have the shine to it. It doesn't have that really pretty electric sheen like this side does. So it's very easy to tell which side needs to go down on your mat. So I'm going to first load my mat, and then I'll get everything loaded into the machine so we can cut it out, and then we can weed it, and I'm so excited to see how this turns out. I think it's going to be really, really pretty. I think the colors she chose are going to be great together. To get this set up onto our shirt for the pressing process. So what I typically do is I'm going to take my design and I'm going to fold it sticky side out, and I'm just going to put a little crease up here at the top. That's going to tell me about where center is on my design. And then I'm going to lay this down. You want to go about 3 fingers from your collar, and then you want to try to get it nice and centered. So just kind of move it around a little bit, get it where you want it, get it nice and straight, which can be a little difficult with these curly words here. So I'm going to use the bottom here to help me make sure that it looks good and straight. And I think it looks pretty centered. So I think it's good to go. This is going to be such a cute shirt when it's done. Now this presses at 305 degrees for about 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm going to get my heat press ready. We're going to get this pressed, and then we're going to have a really cute shirt to give to my friend. We're ready to press. This is set to 305 for about 12 to 15 seconds. I do have a thicker pressing pillow under this because it is bigger, so I did turn my pressure down, but I'm still going to press it at a medium to firm pressure. Once that's done, go ahead and pop that off, and then this is a warm peel, so you can go ahead and peel this right away off of your shirt. And I'm going to let this cool down a little bit, and then we'll move it over to the table so you guys can see what it looks like. Here's the finished shirt. I think it came out really pretty, and look at that like shine on it. It's gorgeous. I love the color shift. So pretty, really easy to do, and you saw how simple it was to make these wavy text options. Now again, you can use any type of font that you want to. You don't have to use a Groovy font. That's just sort of the style that it typically is, but it's really easy to do, and I will link everything down below for how to do it, plus links to the shirt and the HTV that we used if you're interested in using that as well. This is such a fun design, and you know what? I'm going to give it to you guys on the Cricut profile. So I'll link my Cricut profile below, and then I will set it to public so that you guys can access this fun design if you want to make one yourself. So cute, so fun, and just that shine is so pretty on the Caesar Electric. If you have any questions, please let me know in those comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Make sure that you're subscribed here, that way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting!